Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to your mathematics class. We are going to cover exercise 1.3 in this lecture. We will solve its first 5 parts. First of all, I'll tell you in exercise 1.3 we will be dealing with equations that are reducible to quadratic form. We will discuss different types of equations which can be reduced to quadratic equations by some proper substitutions. These are the general 5 forms of the equation we will be dealing with in this exercise. One by one, I will tell you by doing the questions. Question number first is solve the following equation. We have been simply given with the question of solving the equation. So that means we can apply any of the method. First question is 2x4 minus 11x squared plus 5 equals to 0. This question is of the form ax4 plus bx squared plus c equals to 0. Today we are going to solve 5 questions and all the 5 questions would be of the same form. We must be having the equation in the quadratic form, and you know that the quadratic form, the power of the variable must be 2. Highest power of the variable must be 2. So this is not the proper quadratic form. So first of all we have to change it. How we can change it? We can look for the smaller power of a variable and we can suppose this power as equal to any other variable. We will say y. We will suppose that x square is equals to y. Now how can we change this of the supposition to x4? X square can be changed to x4, but how? Yes, we have to take the square of both the sides, and taking the square of x square we will get x4. 2 times 4. So taking square on both sides, x square plus square equals to y square. X square square will become x4 and this would be equals to y square. Now what we will do? We will do both the values of x square and x4 in the given equation, and then we will having the highest power as 2. Putting the values of x square and x4 in the given equation, 2 will remain the same. Instead of writing x4, I will write y square because x4 is equals to y square, and then minus 11 will remain the same, but instead of writing x square I will write y because I have supposed that x square is equal to y. Plus 5 equals to 0. Opening the brackets, our equation will become 2y square minus 11y plus 5 equals to 0. We can take common if there is any, but we cannot see any common digit here. So what we will do now? We will break the midterm, and we have already explained the midterm break method in the previous exercises. So 5 2 times 10, so we must be having 10 in the bracket. So 10 into 1 is 10 and 10 plus 1 is 11. Opening the brackets, we will get 2y square minus 10y minus 1y plus 5 equals to 0 because there was minus sign outside the bracket, so the sign inside the bracket also changed. So that was the last step of the previous slide. What is the next step now? In the midterm break method, the next step is always to take common from the first 2 terms and then to take common from the last 2 terms. So taking common from the first 2 terms, 2y square minus 10y, we will get 2y is the common digit, y will remain there minus 5, minus 1 is the common digit, so y minus 1. As we have taken minus as a common sign, so that's why we have changed that plus to minus. Now we have to write the same brackets once and the digits outside the brackets or the terms outside the bracket in one bracket. Then we have to split the 2 brackets and both the brackets will be equals to 0. Solving it for y, we will get the answer y is equals to 5 and y is equals to 1 by 2. Now is this the answer? Our question was having the variable x, but here we are having the variable y. So this can't be the answer. We must be having the answer in the form of a variable x. So here is y. Y was supposed to be, we have to put the value of y in both the equations, but what was y? It was x square equals to y. We supposed in the previous slide that x square is equals to y. So now we will replace y with x square. Putting the values, we get x square equals to 5 as it was y equals to 5. So I have replaced y with x square, and here also y will be replaced with x square. So x square equals to 1 over y. Now we must be having the answer of x, not x square. So how we can omit that square? Yes, the method is to take square root on both sides. After taking the square root, we will get the answer, and I have written the answer in plus minus form. You all know that after getting the square root of any number, we must be having the answer in both the positive signs and the negative signs. As there is no square root of under root 5, so this will remain the same, but plus minus would be there. And to this side, 1 is the root of itself, so 1 will come outside the root, and the root 2 will remain inside the root, and plus minus will be there. And the final step of always our midterm break is to write the answer in the solution set form. We will solve question number 2 of the same exercise. Question number 2 is 2x4 equals to 9x square minus 4. It is of the same type. We will have to learn 5 types, but we are doing the questions of the first type now. The equation is not equal to 0. So first of all, we have to take these terms to the left side of the equation. We will get 2x4 minus 9x square plus 4 equals to 0. What is the smaller power of a variable? Square is the smallest power, so we have to suppose this as equals to y. We always suppose the smaller power of a variable first, and then we take square or anything else to make it equal to the other power we are having in the question. We have supposed x square equals to y, so how can we change this x square to x4? Yes, we will change it by taking square on both sides. X square whole square equals to y square. Opening those brackets, the square of x square will become x4 and the square of y will become y4. Now in the question, in the given equation, we will replace x square and x4 with the terms we have supposed now. Instead of writing x4, we will write y square, because here you can see that x4 is equal to y square. And in the equation, instead of writing yx square, we will write y, because x square is equals to y. So our equation will become like this. Opening the brackets, we have the equation 2y square minus 9y plus 4 equals to 0. What would be the next step? The next step is always to take common if there is any. But there is no common digit, so we will break the midterm. 2 4 times 8, so we must be having 8 after breaking 9. So 8 plus 1 is 9 and 8 into 1 is 8. Opening the brackets, we have this 2y square minus 8y minus 1y plus 4 equals to 0. This is the last step. What we will do now, we will take common from the first two and the last two digits. Taking common, the common digit would be 2y and the remaining digits will be y minus 4. From the last two, common digit will be minus 1 and the remaining digits would be y minus 4. As I told you in the previous lecture that these two brackets should be equals to each other. If they are not equal, then our midterm break is wrong. If they are equal, we are having the right solution. We will write the brackets once and the terms outside the bracket in a separate bracket. Now we will split the brackets and both the brackets will be equals to 0. Taking the answer of y, we will have y is equals to 4 and y is equals to 1 by 2. Here we should be writing y is equals to 4, not y, y minus 4, not y minus 5. So our question was in the form of x, or we were having x variable in the question, so we have to replace that y now, and we will replace that y with x square because that is the digit we supposed earlier. X square equals to 4, x square equals to 1 by 2. Now we have to omit that square, we don't need it because we must be having the answer of x only. Square will get cancelled with root, so we will take root on both the sides. Answer should be in plus minus form. We will take the root of the digits where possible, and the digits whose roots are not possible, it will remain inside the root. So the final answer should be written in the solution set form. Coming to question number 3. Question number 3 is also this type. But you may be saying that there was not fraction in the power, but we can have fraction in the power, we can have negative sign in the power, but there must be a power of it. Again, we have to arrange first. 5x 1 by 2 minus 7x 1 by 4 plus 2 equals to 0. Now we will suppose. How can we know that 1 over 2 is the smaller term or 1 over 4? Because I told you earlier that we have to suppose the smaller power of a variable first, and then we take square or anything to change it to the highest power. So what is the smallest power of the variable? 1 by 2 or 1 by 4? We can get the answer by dividing it. 1 by 2, the answer is 0.5. 1 by 4, the answer is 0.25. So 0.50 is greater or 0.25 is greater? Obviously 0.50 is greater. So 1 by 2 is the greater term and 1 by 4 is the smallest term. It simply means टोटल चीज़ के 2 हिस्से और यहाँ टोटल चीज़ के 4 हिस्से, तो किसी चीज़ के जब 4 हिस्से किए जाएंगे तो वो स्मॉलर पार्ट्स में चेंज होगी, और किसी चीज़ के जब 2 हिस्से किए जाएंगे तो वो 2 हिस्से ग्रेटर होंगे. फॉर इंस्टेंस you have to change 10 into 2 parts, so both the persons will get 5, and if I'll change it into 4 parts, the 4 persons will get 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So here they are getting the smaller, so that is why 1 over 4 is the smaller here, smaller digit here. We will suppose it equals to y. Then how can we change 1 by 4 to 1 by 2? We will multiply it by 2 so that 4 will get cancelled with it and we have 1 by 2 power. Now we will replace x1 by 2 and x1 by 4 with the digits we have just supposed. Replacing them and opening the brackets, we will get this equation, and after the breaking midterm we have 5 plus 2 instead of 7. We will open the brackets now. The sign of 2 plus 2 will be changed to minus 2 as we are having minus sign outside the bracket. So after this step we have to take common from the two terms, first two and the last two terms. Taking common, we have 5y into y minus 1 minus 2 into y minus 1. Y minus 1 is the common bracket, so we will write it once, and the terms outside those common brackets, 5y and minus 2, will be in the other bracket. Now we will split those brackets and both the brackets will be equals to 0. The answer of y now is 1 and 2 by 5. Our question was in the form of x, so we have to replace y now, putting the value of y in both the equations. What was the value of y we supposed in the previous slide? It was x power 1 by 4 equals to y. So we will write x power 1 by 4 equals to 1 and x power 1 by 4 equals to 2 by 5. Now we must be having the answer of x, but we are having its power as 1 by 4. सिंपल फ्रैक्शन में अगर 1 by 4 दिया गया हो तो हम उसे कैसे चेंज करेंगे 1 में, बिकॉज वी मस्ट बी हैविंग द पावर 1. 1 by 4 को अगर हम 4 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दें तो डिनोमिनेटर और 4 कट जाएंगे एंड वी विल हैव 1. सो सेम गोज हियर. We will take the fourth power on both the sides. This 4, 4 in the denominator, and this 4 will get cancelled. This 4 and this 4 will get cancelled, and we will have x equals to 1, because 1, taking any power of 1, 1 will remain the same. 2 power 4, we have to multiply 2 4 times, so it will become 16, and 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 is 625. Now we are having the values of x, and x was the variable given in the question, so these values should be written in the solution set. Coming to question number 4, again we are having the powers in the fraction form. First of all, we will arrange them, take all the digits to the left side of the equation, and equation must be equal to 0. That is the basic rule of our quadratic equation. Now again, 2 by 3, 1 by 3, which is the smaller value. You will divide 2 by 3, you will get some answer, it would be 0.666 I guess, and 1 by 3, it would be 0.333. So 0.333 is smaller, or 0.666? Yes, 0.333 is the smaller digit, so x power 1 by 3 is the smaller digit. We will suppose it as equal to y. Then we must be having 2 instead of this 1. So we will multiply it with 2 obviously to get it 2 by 3. So taking square on both sides. After taking square, we will get 1 by 3. In all the previous questions, we have supposed one digit equal to 0, and then we took square on both sides. That is the common step in the first 5 questions. Now we will replace it. We will get y square minus 15y plus 54 equals to 0. Now the next step is to take common, but there is no common digit, so we will directly break the midterm. 15 now we have written as 6 plus 9, which is 15, and 6 9 times 54. So both the things are here correct. Opening the bracket, we have y square minus 6y minus 9y plus 54 equals to 0. So in the next step, we will take common from the first two and the last two digits. After taking common, we have the equal brackets, which means our midterm break method is correctly solved. Writing the common brackets once and the digits outside those common brackets in the separate bracket. Y minus 6, y minus 9 equals to 0. Now splitting those two brackets, and both the brackets will be equals to 0. We will get the answer of y, which is 6 and 9. Now again we will replace this y with the digit we supposed earlier. We supposed x1 by 3 as equals to y. So now instead of writing y, we will write x whole 1 by 3 equals to 6 and x power 1 by 3 equals to 9. How can we cancel 1 by 3? Yes, if we have 1 by 3 in the fraction, we will multiply or take cube of it to get it cancelled. So taking cube on both sides, the 3 in the denominator and 3 in the power will get cancelled, and 3 in the denominator, 3 in the power will get cancelled of both the x, and taking cube of 6, 6 into 6 into 6 we get 216, and 9 into 9 into 9 we get 729. So now we are having the values of x, and x was the variable that was given in the question. So this values will be written in the solution set. Coming to the last part of this type of the equations, now we are having the powers in the negative form. As I told you earlier, the powers could be positive, the powers could be in fraction, they could be negative. But the form of the question or the equation should be like this. So after arranging it, taking all the digits to the left side of the equation and putting it equals to 0. As you know, obviously 1 is the smaller digit and 2 is the greater digit. Ignoring the negative sign, we will say 1 is the smaller digit, so taking x power minus 1 equals to y. Now taking square on both sides. After taking square, we will get the value of x power minus 2, which is equals to y square. Now we will replace x power minus 1 and x power minus 2 with the digits y and y square. We have the equation 3y square minus 8y plus 5 equals to 0. No common digits, so we will break the midterm. So instead of writing 8, I have written 3 and 5. 5 3 times 15, and here 3 into 5 is also 15. So the midterm break is correct. After opening the brackets, we have the equation 3y square minus 3y minus 5y plus 5 equals to 0. Now we have break the midterm 3y into y minus 1 minus 5 into y minus 1. As we have taken the sign of minus as common, so this plus has changed to minus. This is the last step. Now we will write the common brackets as ones and the terms outside the common brackets in the other bracket. We will split the brackets now. Both the brackets will become equals to 0. After getting the answer of y, we will get y is equals to 1 and y is equals to 5 by 3. Now we have to replace y with the digit that was in the question, and that digit was x power minus 1. We suppose x power minus 1 equals to y. So now we will write x power minus 1 equals to 1 and x power minus 1 equals to 5 by 3. Now you all know, you have done such type of questions in class 9th as well, that whenever we have the negative power, we take it to the denominator or the numerator. If the power is already in the numerator, we have to take it to the denominator and it will become positive. And if we have the negative power in the denominator, we will take it to the numerator and it will get positive. So now we are having it in the numerator, so we will take it to the denominator, and this side of the equation will become 1 over x, and this right side will remain the same, x power minus 1. We have to take the reciprocal of it somehow, which is equals to 1 over x, and the right side remains the same. Now we have to take the value of x, not 1 over x. So we will cross multiply it, or we will simply take the reciprocal on both the sides. हम दोनों साइड्स को उल्टा लेंगे, x ऊपर चला जाएगा, 1 ऊपर जाके भी 1 ही रहता है. यहाँ से we take x to the numerator and now 3 to the numerator and 5 to the denominator. So our answers are 1 and 3 by 5. We will write both the answers in the form of solution set. I hope you got the concept.